this, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders, now we ain't out here moving rocks.
Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's License to Spin for race 7 of 9, and I've just seen what it says on Jimmy's windscreen. I had seen it before, but I forgot about it. As we have a look at the standings, joining us in commentary is Ray. How are you, Ray?
I'm very well.
Ah, good. Glad you are. I was going to go morning Vietnam, but it wouldn't make much sense. Suppose I could go, good morning, Watkins, Glen. Because they like that kind of thing in America. Right, ladies, start your engines. So, Ray, what should we look out for today's race here at Watkins, Glen?
Well, the battle between Demon and Steve F1. Conrad and SGP, and then you've got Neil and SRI.
Yeah, Jason right there as well.
Jim, yeah, you've got a lot of battles we need to keep an eye on.
That is very, very true. Also, the nature of this track, it's turned out to be a little bit of a tyre killer. As we're about to take a quick walk down the grid, I don't think we're going to see people on the soft tyre for very long. We could see many pit stops. Steve F1 on pole position though, Demon R in second place, Conrad in third and SRI in fourth. But I just want to mention as well, look how narrow the track here is, Ray.
Yeah, it looks narrow. SGP fifth, Atpal in sixth, Jimmy seventh, Neil eighth. Yeah, but that's some just lined up. There's a wee bit more space each side, as we've got Martini ninth, Bob 10th, Jason 11, Rich Blues 12. He's got it on his 13th. Car.
Wow, yeah, okay, I'll let you for that one. He did have 12 on his car. And then Gary at the back of the grid. Gary unfortunately got disconnected. Those were 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. He was in quality, got disconnected, and away they go. Oh, it seemed a very delayed launch when the lights went out there, Ray. Do you reckon a few of the drivers are scared of jump starting? Oh, Demon R takes the lead.
Steve F1 even got a good start. Demon R must have been a wee bit better on the brakes into turn 1. As we see Conrad getting passed by SRI, or it might have been that side of the track, because Demon R and SRI were behind each other.
Yeah, maybe it was, as they make the run up towards the bus stop chicane. Steve F1 goes ahead. SRI stays ahead of Conrad. And interestingly, right, there is a very good reason. Oh, it's a big crash on the back cam. Couldn't quite see exactly what happened. But yeah, there is a very good reason why the chicane is there. I am curious to know if you know why. If you do, you can let us know in a little while. Because Demon R is under a little bit of pressure here from SRI. Should mention as well, Steve F1, Demon R are on the soft tyres. Art Pal's on the soft tyre. Not sure about SRI or Conrad yet. As the pack cam, Rich is getting a little bit feisty all over the back, isn't there, Lee?
Here we see Art Pal on the back of Conrad, so Art Pal on the soft tyres, but just don't know what Conrad's on yet, do we?
Well, you know what, there is a little bit of a gap forming between SRI and Conrad, and I am wondering whether that might be down to a tyre compound. There's also a gap back to SGP, who perhaps hasn't had the best start of races. Steve F1 trying to break away a little bit up at the front. SGP's actually going for the pits.
Oh, that would have got out a few people, because that pit line entry right on that corner, when people swing out, they take the last corner from the left hand side of the track, go right into the apex, and it'll catch a few people out if somebody's going in there for the pits. Somebody might crash and end up getting a penalty because they've been hit out the pit.
Absolutely, yeah, that is a possibility. Something else we'll see as well, on the exit of turn 1 you can use a lot of curb, but the run up the hill, if you get a bit of dirty air, it's not very nice. Conrad's on the medium tyre. So's Jimmy and Rich Blues. No, Rich is on the softs. It was Gary on the medium compound tyre. So we've got different compounds of tyre in use at the start of this race. And something that will have a massive effect on, Ray, is the speed that drivers can go through the corners. Because if you're on the medium tyres and you're being harassed by someone on the softs, yeah, they can have a big advantage, but not for very long, because these soft tyres are going to burn up quickly.
Yeah, I think you get, four laps at quali pace. You could stretch them to about 7 laps race pace. Oh, Gary going in the inside the Rich. Oh, it's caused a... Bob getting arse spiked in the face.
There's an interesting point there I just want to mention. It did look like Gary's big sideways into Jason. Yeah, Gary definitely made a bit of contact with Rich, sorry. But it then looked like Gary instantly tried to lift off and let Rich through, which then resulted in Gary getting hit from behind. Gary would have been much better off carrying on through the corner and letting Rich through in a much safer location. Unfortunately, it has compromised Gary big time now. I mean, I suppose in the heat of the moment, perhaps the instinct is to just lift off and go, sorry mate, go on. But if you've got 4 or 5 cars behind you, you really can't do it at that point, can you? Not in the middle of the corner, anyway.
Not in the middle of the corner, no. You want to get on a straight at least, and hopefully it's a long enough straight here.
Oh, Nelly! He looked like he was way late on the brakes there. Now looks like he's trying to let people through on that little bit of a straight. Sorry to have cut you off there, Ray, but it looked like Nelly went into the bus stop at a completely different rate of knots compared to everybody else, and not in a good way.
Oh, it's like he's actually let quite a few cars through, maybe more than he might have needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, on the pack cam, we've got Steve F1 leading still ahead of Demon R. Oh, Rich sideways. I think Rich's tyres are really starting to hurt. Critical may have pitted already, or he started on the mediums. I think he was involved in that big crash that happened very early on. Bob coming in as well. I think SGP is much further back as well, so perhaps going for a very different strategy.
Somebody went deeper way up the back. Might have been SGP.
Oh, critical! Oh, he got massive sideways moment on the exit of that corner, and Bob ended up in the barrier. I mean, I do know I was talking to Critical the other day, as it looks like Nelly heading for the pit lane. Maybe he's getting rid of a set of soft tyres. Let's see. No, he was on the mediums. That's a very
Up in from soft tyres, so he could make his time last as long as these two. Is this alright? He is still. Yeah, he's still there.
So, someone just had a massive moment.
Conrad's catching him.
Yeah, he is. Oh, Steve F1's got himself all out of shape. No one will find me. I don't know what it was, but anyway. Okay, yeah, so Steve F1's front left tyre, he's got a bit of life left, but he's a bit of a moment in the bus stop, and that's put Demon R all over the back of him. Yeah, Conrad being on the medium compound tyre, his tyres now should potentially be able to go faster than the 3 cars ahead of him. There was something I was going to mention.
See that stripe down the whole length for Steve F1's car? See how, do you think it's the line where how far he can go across the track before he's off track?
Maybe,
if he just...
is he giving himself the guiding line?
It looks like it.
I will have to see.
Because it's only...
the bonnet.
It's on the bonnet as well. It goes the full length of the car. It's a fun stripe. It's not like Ned's races, the go faster stripes. Yeah, he's Conrad is catching SRI. He's going to be on the back of him in the next few corners here.
Steve F1, I think he's going into the pits. SRI to the pits. Oh, Conrad tagging the back of SRI. That's what he was on about there earlier, wasn't it? Where you got a car going for the pits and one not. Kind of got caught out a little bit there.
Yep, let's see if any of these get got out now. And I guess in the chat party they were saying I'm going for the pits, so
yeah, somewhere, I SGP with his early pit stop on the soft compound tyre now. It might actually not have been a bad idea because I've just seen Steve F1 has got the yellow line on his body. Yeah, because SGP's now got good tyres, as others have just pitted or will be pitting soon. So he should have a decent run on Jason here. In the background, there's Formula Gary and Critical. I think Gary pitted recently as well. So Steve F1 having pitted, he's now down in 8th as SGP, all over the back of Jimmy. Jason going very well.
Yeah, he's got a wee bit understeer into that corner because if you go in too fast, the middle of the corner, you're going to just get understeer as SGP.
Exactly
Yes,
like
Jimmy.
that. Yeah, and allowed SGP to slide up the inside. I mean, it's one thing I was talking to Critical about a few days before this race, and I mentioned it on the track guide in writing, not verbally, that around a track like this, if the later you brake, the slower your minimum speed is in the middle of the corner, but also because you're braking later and having to slow down more, you're also having to steer more, which punishes the tyres more. And then on the exit of corners like this one, where Jason's just understeered, if you've steered more and you get the throttle on, there's a good chance your rear end may come around, and not in a pleasurable way. Oh, Jimmy got a bit wide there. I think he may be heading towards the pits. Demon R.
Yeah, because I thought SRI was going back in the pits there, but he's battling. Oh, it's Martini's battling with. I thought it was Conrad there for a minute. I thought Conrad had pitted, but he's not. He's got the lead. Yep. So
there's Demon R.
Yep.
Oh, someone just got a big sideways moment there. Who was that? The one at the back? Gary it was. Okay, so for Steve F1 and SRI, pit strategy not bad. Critical's tyres are a bit hurting here. This is a situation where I think SRI could try and hold this on the brakes because Critical's oh, Nelly! Oh, coming in way too late there for my liking, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's a second time he's come in a bit hot. Maybe he just needs to pull it back a couple of 100 yards.
Couple of 100 yards. Okay, Critical definitely struggling on his tyres there. I mean, it's difficult to tell exactly from this view, obviously, what was going on there, but yeah, I do get concerned when you see a car appearing much faster than all the others very late into a big crash. Critical's gone. Oh, no, that's a massive shame. Yeah, so a car...
Somebody's slow on the straight. Somebody's slow on the straight waiting. Did somebody tag or something?
I think it might have been Gary. Yeah, I think Gary had a sideways moment, tagged the rear end of Critical and sent him around. Excuse me for one moment.
No worries, see, you could have muted when you done that.
I nearly did look away. Go on, what you got?
Neil had a wobble in the mid corner. I was going to give Demon R the run into turn 1, but where does Demon R want to overtake? Does he want to overtake into turn 1 or wait till hitting the chicane at the top of the hill?
Hitting the chicane at the top of the hill is where I would probably recommend. Excuse me, that is disgusting. I don't know who's doing that. Yeah, Art Powell tagged the wall on the exit of the final corner, which compromised him big time. Okay, what is Demon R going to do? Is he going to try and go for the move? Or he's going to go for the... Oh, there's nowhere to go. He had a bit of a wiggle trying to make the move on. See, now that move there with Demon R and Nelly, they were already sort of side by side, so I don't mind those kind of moves. But it's when a car comes from quite far back. We've seen it before as well, haven't we? Like, we've seen it a fair few championships ago. There was someone that said, well, there was space there, so I'm okay to go for it. Whereas in reality, this was at Nürburgring, we looked at it and went, yeah, there's space there, but it's 100 metres up the road. That space won't be there when your car gets there. So there's a very fine line between a good late braking, overtaking move. Oh, SRI's got a penalty. And, yeah, braking way too late and ended up in a space. What's that?
Well,
SRI's got dirty tyres, or has he got a penalty for dirty tyres?
He had. It looks like he's got dirty tyres. He struggled in that right-hander back there.
Oh, Conrad in the pits for his first stop. So medium tyres has got him to the end of lap 7, 14. Ooh, it'll be interesting. Oh, Demon R's heading back into the pits.
Yeah, probably. I'm not getting anywhere here. I'm just burning up my tyres. Let's see if I can do something different.
Well, yeah, I suppose the difficulty or the problem for Demon R right then was that Steve F1 and SRI were pulling away. So SGP now leads the race, having pitted very, very early. I'm trying to see. I think Conrad is on the medium compound tyre again. I just saw him on the pack cam. We get a little bit more information there than the viewers can see. So I think Conrad has gone medium. But if he's done 7 laps, Ray, could he do 7 on the medium again and then 7 on the softs? Or has he got to do a longer stint here?
Well, he might want to do maybe a longer stint, so he's got better tyres for the end. But it's 6.5 a dozen, because if you do a longer stint, you're going to get caught up on, and then you lose track position, and then if you don't do the longer stint and your tyres fail at the end, you're going to get caught.
Absolutely. Now, interestingly, with Demon R pitting, I mean, one of the things I will mention is Demon R was between Art Pal and Nelly, which means that, Steve F1 closing in on the back of SGP up at the lead. So Steve is on the medium tyre. Started on the softs, he's on the mediums. SGP's on the softs, so he's going for the pit lane. But yeah, so I'm wondering if it was a change of tactics for the Demon R, because, as you said, he wasn't really getting anywhere. SGP's getting rid of his soft compound tyres. Steve F1's mediums are in pretty good condition, considering he's done, 5, this is the 5th lap on them. So it'll be interesting to see how far he can go. SRI now in a net second place. I'd be interested to see how his tyres. But yeah, this is where Demon R would have been, with Connor coming out of the pits with fresh tyres. So I think you might be right. It's sort of getting nowhere. So get out of it and do something different.
Yeah. Connor with his fresh tyres. Was he on mediums? It depends what Art Pal's got. Bruno Conrad's he's quite quick at getting to know the track, and he's a fast driver, so I think a couple of corners and he'll be past Art Pal.
I mean, one of the things we can definitely say about Conrad, he's definitely a fast driver. The thing that's been his Achilles heel in the past is being in a position like he kind of is now and then dipping a wheel somewhere and having a spin. Whereas this is where really for Conrad we need to see him making this move on Art Pal round the outside. He's got the fresher tyre, so he can try and do it. Oh, got a little bit sideways. I think Art Pal may have just tagged him though, so Art Pal allowing him a bit of freedom there while trying to fend off Nelly. Yeah, he is. So now, Nelly's tyres are shagged. So now Conrad's got a chance of breaking away. So this is where I think, Bob! I think like 3-4 laps ago, Demon R couldn't get past these two and break away because of these two being on the soft tyre and Demon R being on the medium. Now, Demon R on the back of Rich here, trying to make moves. He'll be open, and when he catches up to Nelly again, it'll be an easier overtake to make, given the different tyre wear. I thought Rich was going for the pits then.
What was that? It's like, he was hugging that corner for dear life.
Talk about holding things for dear life, right? I took the mother on a journey up to Manchester to go and spend a few days with her other son, Art Pal. And on the drive up there, she's telling me about a couple of things that she'd forgotten to take with her as Demon R's trying to make the move on Jimmy. Well, actually bump drafting Jimmy down the straight to get a benefit. And then we'll see fresh tyres against older tyres. So as we're driving along and we're chatting, she goes, she has one of those things that people wear on the wrist.
Medi alert.
A what?
A Medi alert.
No, like a sort of wrist support. you know, like you wear it, or a bit like a glove, and it supports your wrist.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, mother being mother, couldn't think of the word, and says,
It's a thingy.
no, she says, oh, I'm going to have to ask John to get me a strap-on. She had no idea what one of them really is. I was like, do not ask him.
I would just let her.
Well, to be fair, I ended up setting her up to ask. Okay, Conrad making the move, or trying to make the move on SRI. And Conrad is on the medium tyre. SRI's on his mediums, but obviously has been on them for quite a bit longer than Conrad. Oh, good save.
I think he was just having a wee drift round there.
I mean, it won't help his tyres much, but at least he's not ended up facing the wrong direction. Art Powell's continued on, by the way, as Demon R and SGP battling through turn 1 on the pack cam. Nelly has pitted. I'd be interested to see what condition SRI's tyres are on, because it kind of looks
shagged.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, it kind of looks like Steve F1 has broken away a little bit. Okay, Connor making the move on the pack cam. Interesting battle going on there. Demon R, SGP, or side by side. Yeah, SRI's not quite got the tyres to keep it fighting in there, has he?
No, Demon R taking, is that SGP and chicane?
Yep. Art Powell, it was on the medium compound tyre then, so they're just about knackered. Oh, and he's got a penalty as well.
Maybe the chicane, somewhere in the chicane, or the bit afterwards.
Could have been, yeah, if you go too wide on the exit of the long right-hander, it can punish you. This could be quite painful for Art Powell, actually. He's got a lot of cars behind him on fresher tyres, and he's going to serve a penalty. SGP on the soft tyres, up against Demon R, who I think is on the mediums at the moment. Obviously, Demon R having done an additional pit stop. No idea what strategy SGP's on, with him pitting like on the end of lap 2. I think it was. So, yeah, don't know what he's up to.
But no, Art Powell's lost 5-6 places. That penalty, because it just doesn't stop at the penalty line. It continues on to the next corners, a few corners.
Yeah, I was going to say the only saving grace for him though is that he'll be pitting, but he's not. He's carried on. Critical's pitting, Rich Blues is pitting. I think Art Powell will be wishing he was pitting. Okay, now we're on lap 12 of this race. Could anyone pit at this point, Ray, and take a set of mediums to the end?
It's a bit of a hard job, but I don't know. Some people tend to prove us wrong sometimes, so, but I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it as well. Okay, Demon R just hanging on ahead of SGP. SGP, I mean, he's definitely going to have to stop again, but he can do a few more laps on his soft tyres before they hit a cliff. Not sure what condition Demon R's tyres were in. Steve F1, he's going to be pitting soon. With the front left like that, he may be able to get one more lap. Conrad, though. Okay, so a bit over 50% where he's been on these since the end of lap 7. If he can get another 4 or 5 laps out of them, he's on for one hell of a soft stint at the end.
Yeah, SRI, you've seen his tyres, so I'll not be surprised if Demon R catches up to him. SGP, I'm not too sure about. He's got a bit of tyre life left, but
yeah, I think he's going to be.
Oh,
yeah, I think he'll be pitting soon. Oh, Gary, I think Gary may have Bob just tagged Art Powell off. They're having a cracking battle on the pack cam there. If you didn't see it, you can feel free to win.
Oh, here comes Neil round. Got Gary, different line for the Gary going for the pit, Art Powell going for the pit.
Yeah, SGP. Yeah, going for the pit. See, I wouldn't be surprised if a few of them try taking the medium compound tyre to the end. Now, interestingly, Demon R has not been on his medium tyres for that long, and they're already nearly shagged. But that would suggest to me, though, Ray, that because he's gone for an alternative strategy with an extra pit stop, he's probably pushed these ones a lot harder, knowing that it was going to be a shorter stint on them. SRI defending into a bus stop. Ding ding. Woo! Yeah, you can tell the grip isn't there for SRI. I mean, I'd love to see how red his tyres really are.
Well, I think the front left one, there's nothing there.
A bit like Steve F1.
Yeah.
So Steve F1 and SRI pitted, I believe, at the same time. Steve F1's lap times have been pretty good, actually, in the 148s. Now, the downside for Conrad, although he's in second place at the moment, Steve F1 is about to get a mega... it's not an undercut on Conrad when he comes out and gets a load of boost. SGP on the back of Rich Blues. Rich is on fairly fresh tyres, but I think SGP is on fresher ones because he's just pitted.
He's looking left, he's looking right. He's not getting anywhere.
No, he's not. He's having a right good look up his rear wing. Oh, excuse me. I do apologise about being so gassy. Steve F1
in their bin.
Yeah. See, our eyes were diverted by the yellow line. Okay, so, I mean, I can't imagine... Oh, Demon R. Going into the pits.
Well, SRI must be. SRI's in the pits as well.
Yeah, so Conrad hasn't pitted, but we know he's still got to use the soft tyre. So this is critical now for Conrad, because if he pits too soon, his soft tyres will just die. But if he goes too long, he's going to have too much to do. Steve F1 coming out of the pits next to critical. And you didn't hear it, but prior to the race, SGP did say to critical not to be too critical on himself. It went down like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, the guy, he's a great guy, but through practice and that,
it sounded for a moment there like he's a great guy, but he's a cunt. That's what it sounded like you was going to say.
Yeah, but the little mistakes happen in that, and it's got to just take these little mistakes and challenges and throw them out the window and not be too hard on himself. Like, we've all been there when we first started out. We were very hard on ourselves. It's through experience that you kind of start to let go of things even after they've happened. Like you at Suzuki, I bet you've let go of that.
Yeah. I'm twitching in my seat. But I mean, I do think he's beaten himself up a little bit too much. I mean, it's a very good point that
plus he's not got plus he's not got a wheel that's seems to be working properly. So sometimes it might not be him. It might just be one little signal from the wheels, and it's messing him up a wee bit, and it's not consistent enough for him.
Right.
So
I don't need to interrupt.
Demon R.
Well, SGP's critical. SGP's on the medium compound tyre. He's done a pitted lap earlier or two than Steve F1. So if Steve F1 has got a chance of winning this race, so has SGP. But Art Power is right there as well. But Demon R has managed to close that gap up. So the alternate strategy is to use the boost towards the end by the looks of it. But SGP making a move on Steve F1. Demon R in the battle with Art Power. Oh, a bit of a wobble.
SRI's there as well, so everybody's there.
Art Power's just gone a little bit deep at the long right-hander. Demon R trying to get through. Steve F1 trying to hang it on the inside of this left-hander, which you can do with 2x2x2x2. And this will be helping Conrad, because these guys, battling like they are not going to be closing the gap down to Conrad as much as they would like as SGP. Big time sideways.
Yep, and as we see, Demon R defender against Art Pal. SRI's pulled out as well. He'll be hoping he stops this time after practice.
Alright, Jimmy. I'll tell you what, Jimmy's running up in fourth at the moment. Nelly in second. And Jason in third. I'm guessing there's more pits. Conrad's in the pits. I'm guessing there's more pit stops to come. Go on.
Critical's lost it at the back of that pack there.
Oh dear. I mean, Critical. The conversation about Critical is an interesting one. I think we should touch on that a little bit more at the end of the race because I've got some interesting insights. I think on that one. Okay, SRI and Art Pal battling side by side. I don't know what tyres Art Pal is on, but what is critical here? Sorry, critical is where Conrad is going to reappear. There he is coming out of the pits now. He's going to be on the soft compound tyre, but he's going to have a lot of overtaking to do, Ray. Ray.
Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah, with all these guys, so what we got? 4, 5, 6 laps to go.
Something like that. Demon R making the move on SGP. Yeah, I mean, Demon R probably thinking that he doesn't want to be letting Steve F1 run away. Steve F1 will be thinking, I've not seen that yellow car for most of this race. Where the fuck have you come from? Yeah, now he's got Jimmy ahead. Don't know what condition Jimmy's tyres are in, but I'm guessing not great. As Rich Blues SRI side by side, and there is the Hunter. I mean, if you're in Conrad's position now, Ray, would you be thinking, I've got a chance of winning?
He's up the inside. He's up the inside. Oh. He's got past 2 cars. He's got past 2 cars, so he's now overtaking Art Pal. He's on a.
Well, you know what?
He's on a flyer.
Net leader is only 3 cars ahead, and that's Steve F1. So yeah, he's got to be thinking he's got a chance. Steve F1 will be probably thinking he needs to get a shift on and get away from Jimmy and Demon R and SGP. Is Jimmy headed to the pits? No, Nelly is in the pits. Oh, the inside. A little wobble on the curb though. Yeah,
Conrad can see Demon R. He's fixed on that high vis car.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's high vis. Oh, Jimmy's gone a bit deep. Oh, and there goes Conrad. Giving it. I was going to try an accent, but I knew I was going to get it wrong, so I won't.
What, Scouse?
Yeah. Thank you very much. See, that's more Scottish. I don't think a Geordie's ever said thank you very much. Oh,
here he is. He's attacking Demon R into the chicane.
Yeah, Demon R not fighting that one at all either.
No. But then, do you think he's pushing it too much? If he's on east of the end, yeah.
Well, maybe, but then I don't know. If he gets past Steve F1 and then feels he can control his pace, that might work better than sitting behind Steve. He ain't sitting behind Steve F1, not at all. He's going for it up the inside, little wobble. That's the tricky nature of this circuit. Tucks in behind like a pervert on the dance floor. He's tucked in behind.
Yeah.
Now, interesting.
Look at the amount of grip in the corner he's got compared to Steve F1's. Is Steve F1 in the mediums, I think?
Yes, he is. I was going to say, I don't know if Jason can get to the end, but looking at how quickly these guys have caught him, Jason ain't getting to the end. I think he's got to be pitting. Conrad up the inside. Licked it, sent it, then asked for a name.
Yeah, so it's how much does he push now? He's got back to first. He doesn't want to push too much, and then he doesn't want to not push because, you know, sometimes when you're dilly-dallying, more mistakes are made.
Yeah, Senna at Monaco. It was
wide
that was
Art
Pal. Yeah. Now, interestingly, Nelly's not pitted that long ago. He's now in 7th. I think he's got fresh tyres. Rich has not got fresh tyres. Rich is on knackered mediums. So I don't know whether Nelly could perhaps get back into a battle up at the front or not. It'll depend on what happens around him.
It's all right. An SGP.
Oh.
Was they not in?
Yeah, they were not far away.
Have they pitted again?
I've no idea. I will be honest. Do you know, Ray? This week, no. I don't know. And for anyone that doesn't get the irony of that, don't worry about it.
How many laps for this race?
Well, good question. Okay, Bob, on tyres. Rich running wide. So just to let you know, on the pack cam as well, DBR9 all over the back of Steve F1. We'll get onto that in a moment. There's Nelly having a look at trying to make a move on Bob. Bob, though, perhaps a little late on. SRI was a little deep on the brakes there. Yeah, when you're trying to attack someone that's a little late on the brakes, it does make it difficult to make a move. But that's where you kind of have to switch your focus from trying to overtake someone on the way into a corner to overtaking them on the way out of the corner. You see, Nelly's caught him up big time on the exit of the corner. So if I was Nelly here, I would actually be just looking at trying to get Bob to defend down into one. I wouldn't even be attempting to attack into one, because Bob, if he goes a little bit late on the brakes, he's going to go straight on, but he can get through. Here comes SRI and SGP.
Somebody wide. Rich.
Rich is, I think his tyres are fronts have absolutely added. SRI has pitted again. They're very fresh mediums. Okay, on the pack.
Yeah, so SGP must have pitted as well then.
Yeah, quite possibly. SGP was on the medium tyre. Could he have got to the end? I don't know, maybe. Well, I think he pitted 2 laps before Steve F1, so...
He's on the softs.
Oh, okay, so he definitely has pitted again. Might not be a bad choice there. Now, interestingly, on the pack cam, DBR and Steve F1 sort of staying sort of similar distance from each other. There's Rich struggling on these tyres on the steering wide. But yeah, if in Conrod's position now, see, his tyres are hurting, but all Conrad needs to do is, if he can keep that gap at about a second, he'll be okay to Steve F1. Because the benefit for Conrad is Steve F1 is probably going to be more focused on trying to beat DBR than he is trying to beat Conrad, given the championship standings at the moment.
Yeah, right enough. But he'll be trying to make sure his car is as wide as a double-decker bus.
Which, ironically, is the same width as a car. That's
right enough.
Got you thinking, hasn't it? They fit in the same lanes. Yeah. Okay, SGP on soft tyres battling with SRI on mediums. Pat Cam still on that battle for second place. I don't think it's a battle for first anymore unless Conrod's tyres go off. Jason is on fresh tyres, and I think he might be on the softs as well, which means SRI and SGP could be under a lot of pressure at the end of this straight.
Yeah, because Jason will have the freshest of them, won't he?
Yes, he will. Okay, SRI gets ahead. Jason's definitely on the prowl.
SRI was always ahead.
Okay, fair enough. Nelly closing in on the back of Art Powell. I think these are on different compounds of tyres now as well. Art Powell's well wide.
Yeah, and these guys aren't that far behind. Well, you can see them now. So is Art Powell not good tyres? Is his tyres in a bad shape?
I think they might be. We'll see. I mean, let's see. SRI probably not in a position of getting boost at the moment. Yeah, looking at how far Nelly's pulled away from Art Powell. Oh, SGP! You can park there.
That wouldn't help his tyres.
No.
I think he caught a bit of the grass there and went sideways.
I think you might be right. But yeah, so I think Art Powell's tyres are definitely struggling. And yeah, sometimes when your tyres are screwed, you're just screwed. Oh, look at the pack cam. DBR's ever so close to the back of Steve F1. But then I suppose, Ray, for DBR, I mean, it's a long stint they're having to do on the medium tyre. So could there be the thought process of, I'll accept a third place, let's make sure we don't
Jason's
spin it.
tyres.
Oh, yeah, they're nice and round, aren't they?
they're in better nick than what I think SRI's. The Artpals are. SRI. Oh! I don't know if Artpal knew he went that side. I think he was expecting him to go the other side. Free into the bus stop's not going to work, guys.
Well, he might do if
maybe
Jimmy's
4.
there. Yeah, Jimmy helping Jason through there. I tell you something that I did do in practice, you know. The amount of times coming up through the S's turns 2, 3 and 4, and I'd look in my rear view too soon, and then when I was looking forward, I was aiming off the track to the left. Very easily done. I definitely had to work on make sure I didn't do that. Bob and Artpal, I think Artpal's tyres have had it, and yeah, he's plumbing. Bob's tyres have had it, to be fair. But at this point, you just got to keep going now, haven't you? There's only one more lap after this.
Yeah. Jimmy was in 4th place at one point. He's down 2 places, but he's
down 2 places, but he pitted. So he was in 4th, has pitted, and he's got back to 6th place at the moment. So not doing too bad. Gary's still got enough life in his tyre, as Bob having a look up the inside of Critical. Critical having a look at the rear end of SRI. Gary with a nice line through there, actually. Can he get through the final corner as well? Yes, he can. Okay, Pat Cam's looking at Steve F1. His yellow line targeting Conrad, but I think Conrad may be too far away.
big gap. Demon R from when you look back.
Critical. Oh, he was making the move, and then he's gone. And, yeah. Excuse me, Gary now with a penalty as well. That's a bit unfortunate. Didn't see which bit that was for. But I mean, that's Critical there. I think it's just unfortunate. It looked like he was making the move, and perhaps being on that tighter line, a little too eager on the throttle, and around she blows. I still wouldn't mind seeing Artpal's tyres though. Can Jimmy hang on? He was a bit out of shape there.
Yeah, he's got SRI. We know SRI doesn't
know how to pull out. Excuse me. We're on the last lap of the race. The last lap of the race road. Try saying that 10 times fast. SRI. Trying to make the move, but I think Jimmy might have the speed. Yes, he has. I wonder if Jimmy's on the soft compound tyre, looking at the speed he had out of that corner. On the inside, SRI going to try going the long way round. He might have the inside line. No, he isn't. Jimmy's ahead. Conrad, though. No errors in this one, Ray. No errors in the pit lane. No spinneroonies. His tyres are shagged. But he's going to be tonight after winning here at Watkins, Glen. Tell the missus.
Steve F1, Demon R, same kind of tyres. Nelly had a bit of tyre.
Yep. Jason.
Jason.
A bit left on his softs. We've got a battle going on, though, with Jimmy and SRI. SRI not quite close enough. And then, whoa. A bit of movement there. Couldn't tell exactly what happened. And you were right, Ray. We didn't get to see how close it was between Gary and Artpal at the end. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah.
No, I didn't.
So apparently it was very, very, very close between Gary and Artpal over the line. And Ray jokingly said, "Oh, that's a shame we didn't get it on camera." Turns out we didn't get it on camera. There we go.
No. Oh, well.
Well,
he's on replay. You can go and watch it.
Absolutely.
Masturbate over it.
Yeah, too right. Okay, couple of things to say about that. A very interesting race. Very different to the last week's race. I want to say though, it's so nice to see the likes of Conrad go and win like that. The only way that win could have been any better is if he'd have had a spin somewhere and then gone and won. But I'm so glad that he's had a no spin, no pit lane drama, brilliant drive there. I mean, just out and out. I mean, using the tools that are available, was able to make that strategy work of starting on the mediums and win it on pace at the end. For Steve F1, I mean, he's closed the gap in a little bit on Demon R, so heading into Brands Hatch, there's definitely a fight going on there, and it will be interesting to see what the standards are like for the rest of the grid. But I do want to talk a little bit about Critical, because I know we mentioned it a bit in there. And I think you said something which I think is absolutely spot on, which is he's beating himself up too much. And Art Pal was a little bit, was doing this quite a bit not long ago either. And one of the things that I would perhaps try and remind them is it's not easy for people that are perhaps new to the game or new to the league to come in and be at the pace of the likes of Steve F1. But there's a reason for that. How often do we see Steve F1 spin? I mean, I can't even remember the last time I've seen Steve F1 spin. And it's fucking annoying, but that's one factor of it. He is consistent as hell. Now, this is why I must admit I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to data, right? You can be given the data for example, Steve F1 doesn't spin. He is ridiculously consistent. And you can have someone new come along and go, well, the reason, why can't I be as consistent as him? Right, well, you're looking at the wrong data. The reason that he is as consistent as he is because he's been through the pain of being inconsistent, putting wheels where they don't want to be, having spins where you don't want to spin, and taking the pain, pushing when you shouldn't, and going through the pain of that, as a lot of the drivers have. And it's one of the I mean, I see it quite a lot. So it's like with Art Pal, trying to sort of remind Art Pal, it's like, look, you're racing with people that have been doing it for 10, 15 years. And if you've only been doing it for 2 years, you've got a bit of experience to build up. So you're going to have you're going to have things happen like Connor had with the pits at Road Atlanta. Those kind of things, they're unfortunately going to happen. You're going to dip a wheel, like Suzuka. You're going to dip a wheel at turn 1 on the exit, and you're going to try getting back on the track, and you'll spin. Instead of learning, because you haven't had chance to yet, learning, oh shit, I've dipped a wheel, right, let's go straight on, then I can control the car, then I can safely return to the track. But you have to go through that pain of the instant reaction of, oh, I've dipped a wheel off, let's get back on the track and spin. We saw it with Nelly at Suzuka at Spoon, didn't we? As it was happening, me and you were both like, oh, he's got a bit wide, I hope he doesn't try getting back on the track. And as we say that, we see his car spinning across the screen, because that's exactly what he tried to do. He tried to get back on the track, but it was too soon. So the reason that the likes of Steve F1 is frustratingly consistent is because he's been through that pain. But then you could look at the information regarding a number of people, right? Okay, so some people could look at Conrad, for example, and go, well, he's not going to win many races because he always has something happen. But you can't say that. Not now, anyway. There is always the chance, but Conrad's raced differently this season in this championship than he has all the other ones. And on a track where the likes of Steve F1, who is very good on his tyres, Conrad has done much longer, faster stint on, for example, the soft tyres, made the tyres work better. He's changing the way that he races, so the information's changing. Take SGP. Some people might look at his races over the last few championships and go, well, he's having a shocker in it. He's not been getting very good results. But then you don't know what's going on behind the scenes at home, like he's got a Thor stuck up his arse. So
he's got Peter.
Well, yeah. Well, I know. I mean, you know what it's like when your leg's dead. When you've had the problems with your legs and Twilight said. So SGP recently has been having a problem where I think it's his right leg is just numb. It's dead. He's got no feeling in it. Now you try being precise with a throttle pedal when you've got no feeling in your leg and your foot, you're not going to be able to perform. Who else? Jason has not been able to practice as much as he's doing his real life racing. So Jason in the last championship was phenomenal, wasn't he? Unbeatable, pretty much. This championship struggling. It could be the car, it could be the tracks, or it could be the fact he's not had the time to practice. So there's so many different factors to it. So bringing it all back round to Critical, I would say Critical perhaps looks at the wrong things in practice. And a lot of people do this. They'll look at the lap times that people are doing and go, I'm 2 seconds off the pace. And that then...
Go
on.
Then go later on the brake, try and get on the accelerator quicker, and then it just crumbles from there.
Absolutely. It makes it worse. You don't go faster by pushing it more. Or even if you do, it's only going to be for 1 or 2 laps. Your tyres can't hack it. But it's very difficult for someone in Critical position. I know he's mentioned as well that he's been doing quite a lot of rally driving on V-Rally, I think it is, or whichever one it is. And obviously the driving style of rallying to track racing is very, very different. But yeah, it's very...
And also his wheel, he's having issues with his wheels. So he can have any little sensor kick off and send a signal to the computer, and something happens, and he doesn't know if it's him that's made the mistake or the wheel sent the wrong signal until he gets up to the current drivers and whatnot. Then once
I'd scrap that wheel. I feel because when your technology's not working, it does make it hard as well. You look at or listen to how much I fucking bitched and moaned about at Suzuka when my force feedback went. I wasn't happy because I couldn't feel not that I couldn't feel it. Obviously, you can see if you're getting understeer, but you couldn't. When you're trying to balance on that fine line of a little bit of understeer, a little bit of oversteer, you are teetering on that line. It's like tightrope walking, but you got no feet, you just got stumps. You're fucked because you can't feel what you need to do.
Remember my Logitech G29, was it? Had the brake thingy was on a little, I didn't know for ages. It's not when I looked and realised that it was on, and then changed my wheel and kinda. I think I've improved a wee bit.
a little bit. But then SGP had a similar thing, didn't he, with his brake pedal, where the travel was wrong. But yeah, what I will say though is, I know a track like this, I really enjoy driving around Watkins Glen, but I do think it's one of those tracks where it is brilliant to drive around, but it's a bitch to race around, because it's all about rhythm and all that. Now, I just remembered as well, I asked you about the chicane. If you know what the reason for the chicane being there is.
I was getting here. Flipping. Was it not that GT driver, the GT Academy driver?
Flipped.
No,
that was a Nordschleifer.
Went into the fair.
He flipped to Nordschleifer. Yeah, Nordschleifer in the first few sectors. You got the start. Left hander down the hill, round little wigglies, and then you go over the crest of the hill into that dead fast double right hander. It was that crest of the hill where the front end lifted up and he flipped into the crowd. But you were very close in a way, right? If you were to see the footage, you'd go, yeah, I know that one. So quite some time ago in NASCAR, they were racing there. For some reason, Tom Petty's name's coming to mind. I don't think it was. No, because he died in Formula 1, I think. But anyway, so the camera at NASCAR panned around for what was the long right-hander. So dead straight long right-hander, pans around, sees a car a bit in bits and sees like barrier smashed up. Then they show the replay. One car comes flying across the grass into the barrier, hits it so hard it sends him up into the air and flips the car over almost. And as he's up in the air, another car that was involved follows him straight in to where there's no protection in the barrier anymore. Unfortunately, killed the driver, and that is why there's now the bus stop chicane there to reduce car speed heading into the long right-hander, because there was a seriously nasty crash there. I'll have to find it as well, because I'll guarantee you, when you see the footage, which you can watch after this, you will go, oh yeah, I know, I've seen that crash, but you might never have known that it was at this track.
All right.
Now, talking JD McDuffie, his name was. I'll share that with you. Now, next track. We've mentioned it a few times.
John McDuffie Jr.
I don't know if it's
1991.
That'd be it. Probably. Yeah, I've just shared it with you. But you don't see what actually caused the initial crash because there's two cars involved. But yeah,
Oh no, you do. Oh, the video I've seen you do.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I'm not that sad that I've got to watched it.
Like as the first cars crashed and went up in the air, the other cars came straight.
Yeah, that bit. Yeah, but
yeah,
I don't think you get to see what caused both of them to end up heading over the grass. I think one of them lost a wheel. Thinking about it, I think one of them lost a wheel or lost the brakes and collected the other one on the way in. But yeah, it was a bad one. But that's why the chicane is there. Okay, next track, we mentioned it a few times, is Brands Hatch. And thinking about it, Ray, there's a little tip that I reckon you could give everybody, and I don't mean like that, about Brands Hatch to do with the start of the race.
Do with the start of the race at Brands Hatch?
Yeah.
What? Because you're on a incline, and when you hit that throttle, the rear end's going to hit towards the right.
Yep.
So, and you gotta watch out for that in case you end up spinning the car.
Absolutely. Get a bit of steering lock on, or be gentler with the throttle. Now, something I will mention as well, actually, if I do get a chance, you know what, I probably won't get a chance to do a lap guide. Maybe Steve F1 should do the lap guide. But I've, for anyone that is watching this, you'll know we've not live streamed this like normal because I've had to go away for a couple of days. But if there's any tip I can give about Brands Hatch, it's this: braking late will do nothing for you, because it's all about smoothness and carrying speed, not trying to be fast into a corner. Because the last thing you need around Brands Hatch, Ray, is, as I'm sure you know, going into some of these corners too quick and the car running a touch wide on the exit, because you can end up facing the wrong bloody way.
Yeah, especially the last couple of right-handers, and you touch the grass there and you're spinning, or you're having to travel to the barrier and back out.
Yeah, absolutely. I should quickly mention as well, I haven't been able to do a G-spot for the report that was placed last week. I will get up to date with all of that when I can. Okay, in a moment we'll go and have a look. Oh yeah, sorry. Also, because I'm away, if there have been any reports, they are not going to be detailed on this video. So if there's any reports or penalties, it will not be shown or featured or the points adjusted in this video. I will sort that out for the next race video. So apologies if there are penalties, but yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Well, at this moment in time, from now, there has been 0 reports.
Well, I don't think Art Pal will be sending one in because he's gone away for the weekend. So we're okay there.
Yeah, we'll keep the fingers crossed for you.
Oh, actually, thinking about it, something that Critical might not be aware of, and don't take this wrong. One of the things I have done over the years is, as you know, Ray, and as quite a few of the others do, I have offered my services to try and help people improve their driving, or at least to be able to enjoy their racing a little bit more. And I can do that in terms of a one-on-one session and spend a bit of time. Or I can do the other way, which is I can do a deep dive, which means going and looking at someone's race from their car's perspective and basically going, yeah, I wouldn't have done that, and I would have done this, or I would have done this, or this is why this is happening, and going through in, not with a fine-tooth comb. I was thinking, why is it called a fine-tooth comb when you don't comb your teeth? But then the comb's got teeth on it, and so that's why it's a fine-tooth comb. But yeah, so I could go through it for you, but you have to ask for that, or at least I need permission to be able to do it. Anything else you want to mention, Ray?
No.
Okay, good stuff. Talking about asking permission for stuff, I've got a little story to tell, Ray. A little confession to make.
What's that?
Well, when me and my ex used to have anal sex, she always got pissed off at me. She always got angry with me and annoyed. But
Alright.
yeah, because I'd always get excited, and then I'd go, goal, la, 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 goal, go, 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 la, 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 la. She fucking hated it.
I'm thankful that Discord has like a too loud cut off because it cut you off.
Did it cut me off? I did it again. Right. So, because I keep going, goal, la, la, like, yeah, goal, la, 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 really loud and celebrating like they do in Mexico. And she hates it. She hated it. But that's what I was taught to do when you stick one in the back of a net.
Alright.
Discord ruined that part of that. I think that's a bloody brilliant joke. I wrote that 7 days ago, and I've been waiting ages.
Is that what you were trying to remember on Monday?
Yes. And I remembered it, and I was like, I got it. Yeah. And I had to go and write it down, yeah.
And on that note, guys, good night.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ray. And we'll see you all again in a bit.
Ta-ta.
Okay, so unconfirmed race results, as previously mentioned. I'm away, so we'll deal with any incidents for next week. Conrad taking the victory, maximum 20 points. Well done to him. Steve F1, second place, 17 points, 2 ahead of DBR now. Oh, sorry, 2 points scored more than DBR, who's in third place on 15. Nelly in fourth on 13. Jason in fifth on 12. Jimmy with a great result, sixth place, 11 points for him. SRI, seventh place, 10 points for him. Art Pal, 8th for 9. Formula Gary, 9th for 8. And then we've got Bob, 10th for 7. Rich Blues in 11th for 6. SGP in 12th for 5. And then Critical, 13th for 4. Unfortunately for SGP and Critical, last couple of laps just did not go their way at all. But it definitely went the way of Connor, holding on with those soft compound tyres. And it'll be interesting to see what that result has done to the championship standings. Well, interestingly, only 3 people have changed position. And that is Art Pal, Twilight and Rich. However, Up at the top, we've got Demon R still leading on 119 points now, 2 ahead of Steve F1 with 2 races to go. Conrad, with that victory, has opened up the gap between himself and SGP, so 96 points. His I don't know if his favourite number, but his relevant number. Third place, 96 points. SGP, 4th place, 79 points, with Nelly now only 1 point behind him. And we've got a little bit of a gap, 8-point gap to be precise, to SRI in 6th place, and Jason tied in 6th place with him, both on 70 points and both 49 behind the leaders. Obviously, it wouldn't have worked if it was 49 and 50 behind the leaders, but anyway. Jimmy in 8th place, 54 points, is 6 ahead of Formula Gary, trying to make that 8th place his own. You never know, Jimmy could potentially catch the 6th place battlers as well. Gary in 9th on 48 points, he's 5 ahead of Critical in 10th place on 43. And then we've got a little bit of a gap, 7 points down to Art Pal in 11th, and then we've got a cracking battle going on here. Twilight 12th on 34 points, tied with Rich Blues in 12th on 34 points, although it's more likely that Twilight is tied to a bed at the moment because he's a pervert. So yeah, Rich tied with him. Bob 14th place on 25 points, but Bob has missed a few races in this championship. Okay, as I previously mentioned, if there have been any reports or any penalties to be applied, we will deal with that for next week. Unfortunately, as I said, I am away, so unable to do so. Also, apologies that this isn't live streamed as we would normally do. Same reason. 2 races to go: Brands Hatch, then Le Mans. Yeah, and as I said last week, there's only 2 ways. Well, I suppose there's 3 ways to know how the next race is going to go. 1 is to be racing in it. 2 is to watch the race when we show it. And 3 is to be told how it went. But that's the most boring way to experience it, because clearly the most entertaining way is to simply watch all the action, even if you have been involved in it. So there we go. Right, have a good one, everybody. You know what to do. Like and subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and we'll see you all again soon.